Well, here you go. My brother-in-law, my wife's brother, is in the business of doing silk screening and such. But he has the bigger commercial thing and all that kind of stuff. But when he bought out a business, this is one of the heat presses that they had. So I'm looking on the internet thinking about buying one. And I was looking at one that did a little 9 by 12 or something. And they wanted like $349 for it. I did a video on it. I believe because there was a lot of options. So meanwhile, I gave my brother-in-law, sent him a text. Joe, do you have a heat press? So if I want to do some transfer. He goes, yeah. He says, you can borrow it if you want. Okay, and I left it at that. First of all, he lives in Naugatuck, so it's about a 40-minute ride. So it was one of those things to where, okay, do I really have time to run out to Naugatuck, one, and just to borrow it for a day or two and run it all the way back, maybe a bit of more of a nuisance than it would be for me just to buy one. Well, he called up last night and said he's bringing it down today. So he brought it down. This is it. Much bigger, much more of a commercial piece. Older, naturally, but it works perfectly. It doesn't have auto pop-up. You have to pop it up and things yourself. But it's a nice piece. And he said, you know what? He said, leave it here. Use it. If I need it, I'll let you know. So, I don't have to buy a press. I've got one. Right? Like I say, it's an older one, but it works fine. We tried it. We did some things. We did some sampling with it. You know, this is the reflective material for, like, you know, stuff like that. This is the back side of this. We just wanted to see how that would work. This is regular vinyl, which seems to work, but it wouldn't hold up. So that's not going to be anything great. And this, we just tried it also, another piece of vinyl. You know, we were just experimenting with it to see what we had and what we didn't have. So, but that's it. So I now have a press. And tomorrow I'll come out here and wipe it down. We brushed the dust off it. Like I say, he's had it sitting. This is something he really wasn't using. So, like I say, he had it sitting there. Now, he's got the big one, you know, where it's got the bunch of them all the way around, and, you know what I mean. For those of you who do it, understand. For those of you who don't do it, you know what I'm talking about anyway, because more than likely you've seen it somewhere or another. So, but meanwhile, I'm in business. So tomorrow, I think tomorrow's Monday. Yeah, tomorrow I'll do some experimenting. I have to do a little bit more work on the van. I'm organizing that. I'll show that to you tomorrow as well. I just finished wiring this up. Now, this is for the scanner. The scanner works on 9 volt. That's it. So you really don't want to put 12 into it. This is 9 volts. It's pretty direct when it came to 9 volts. So I could have bought the lighter plug for it, but I said, you know what? I've got this board, which I did a video on. This is a variable. This is adjustable with that little right there, right there. Then we have what's coming in and on off and what's going out. So I was able to adjust it for 9 volt. Now, because it is adjustable and it's not tied into a lighter plug adapter, I can now wire this into my little shelving that I made in there, and I can have it so that if I want to change the voltage on it, I can. So if I want to jack it up to 12 volts or higher or lower, I have that option. So that's what I'm doing with that. So I'll show you that when I'm done with that. But meanwhile, we're right there. So tomorrow I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting with that. Going to get the van cleaned up. Today we're working on the yard. I do have a light pole up finally. I don't think you can see it. I don't feel like walking out there, but there's the birdhouse over there, or the bird hotel, and there's a pole. It's a 4x4 and it's 16 feet high and it's cedar. And I have one of those parking lot type lights on it. They say at 15 feet it will give you a 70 by 70 lidded lighted area. So that's up and running. Well, it's not running. I still have to tie it in over here, but it's all tied in over there. So that's done. The wife did the lawn, so that's done. And actually, I don't know if you guys remember. Well, here, let me take you for a quick walk. And all this is starting to grow back in, as you can see. A lot of that dirt that you're seeing there is only from when I dug it out, the dirt that got stuck in the grass. I gotta clean that up too for the boys. They use it, but not as much when it has all the weeds on it. So I still have to get over here and do a little bit more cleaning. There's a chopper around here someplace. But this at one time was all dirt. All this that you're seeing over here, the grass, used to look like this. So as you can see, we have grass growing. And it's still fresh, it's still new, so a few weeds here and there. But look at it, we got more yard. Yeah. So now I got to get down over here and get that done. And I come in here with a mower and chop that down. I got to plant some more seed right here because I pushed a lot of crap out of here. So now that we got that crap pushed out, I got to seed that. And then I got to throw a little bit more seed down here and there. See, this doesn't really get watered. All right, this basically gets watered when it rains. I am thinking about possibly doing some type of an irrigation system. I don't know, but from here to there, we're talking a few 100 feet or better. And then down here, we got this almost to a point to where it's going to be lawn. It's to a point now to where I can cut it with the tractor without worrying about running over rocks. There's the weeping willow right there in the middle. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then we got the bamboo growing like crazy, which is great. I'll take the bamboo any day, let it grow. It's like a living fence. Now behind that though, there's a 6-foot page fence. So, and then we're getting there. So the yard's starting to come along. Like I say, we still have to do a little cleanup around here, as you can see. But for the most part, this used to be all this that you're here, that you're seeing. As you can tell, it's all new grass. But all of this used to look like that. With all the rocks and the sand and the dirt and all the crap. That's just what it looked like. Well, here's some that I haven't finished yet, as you can see. This is still somewhat of a mess. So over the next couple of weeks, I'll end up cleaning this up, raking it up, roughing up the surface. I'll throw some seed down over here. It's usually like it is now. It gets some sun, but it's shaded sun, that type of thing. So, and that's about where we're at. And then I can start working down this way and get all this yanked out. I had all this cleaned up, but if you don't get grass in here, all right, the weeds just start to take over. So that's where we're at. So getting there. We'll get it ready so next year when it does decide to come back, it'll all basically come back and be done. All right, a few little patches I got to take care of, but that's going to be the next thing. I was actually thinking about moving that at one time on the other side of those two trees, but I don't know yet. I don't know. I got to think about it. You know, then straighten this out and seed all that. I don't know if the boys would play with it as much or on it as much if it was over there. So something to think about. And then down there, behind there, that's all done. So we got grass growing all over there now, which was also looking like this. This is where the boys run around and play, so we just kind of got to clean it up. I was actually going to put a bunch of hay down in this area and just, you know, have it hay and throw hay up over that and gonna have a good time with it. But again, I got to see what's going on. I got a few plans. You got to change things around for them every now and then, you know, at least every year, because they get bored, you know, so you got to change things. So that's why we opened up the yard over there. Next year I may open up another 100 feet or so, I don't know yet, you know, and fence it in, but I may change this around, do something different so that they have something different to play with, because again, they get bored after a while. Yeah, they're like kids. You know, your kids, you buy them a swing set, they play on it. After a while, then it just sits there. You know, so you have to do something different. You know, so anyway, that's where we're at. And I still have to make a little enclosure for the gen set. And that's about it. And then I got to get this cleaned up. Oh, we got more pavers. They dropped a bunch of pavers off last week. So I got to get them out of the driveway and get them back here and start laying them down. Oh, and we got this all grassed in now too. That used to look like the dirty part of that. That even looks good compared to what it used to be. But that's all grassed in down there. Garden's over there. It's working. The plants are getting big. They're not producing anything, but they're getting big. And that's where we're at. So meanwhile, I didn't mean to mumble everything or jumble everything into one little video, but that's where we're at.